Think about the last time you went through a presentation that just didn't click. You were probably bombarded with facts, figures, and features right from the get-go. It felt like being thrown into the deep end without knowing why you should care. This is a super common pitfall. Most of us are taught to start with the what, the product, the service, the technical details. But here's the secret. That's not how our brains are wired to connect and engage. We're missing a crucial step that makes all the difference in whether our message lands or falls flat. The wrong place isn't about lacking information. It's about lacking connection. When we start with what, we're speaking to the logical part of the brain, the part that analyzes and evaluates. But decisions, especially in a team setting, are driven by something deeper, a sense of purpose, a belief, a feeling that this is the right path. By starting in the wrong place, we fail to tap into that deeper level of engagement. We might capture attention momentarily, but we fail to inspire action or commitment. It's like trying to build a house starting with the roof. Sure, the roof is important, but without a solid foundation, the whole structure will eventually collapse. Let's talk about a game changer in how we present ideas. The golden circle. This simple yet powerful framework flips the script on traditional presentations, and the results are incredible. You see, most of us present information from the outside in, starting with the what and maybe touching on the how. But the golden circle turns that approach on its head. On the left, we have the traditional, outside-in approach. This is where most presentations live, and unfortunately, where they often die. On the right, we have the golden circle, an inside-out approach that taps into the core of what motivates us. Starting with what is like giving someone a solution before they understand the problem. Imagine walking into a meeting and immediately being told about a new software without any context of why it's needed. You'd likely feel lost, right? Then we move to how, explaining the features, the process, the technicalities. By this point, if your audience wasn't already tuned out, they're starting to check their phones. And often, why is completely ignored. It's the elephant in the room, the unspoken question that everyone's thinking. Why should I care about this? The result? Confusion, disengagement, and ultimately inaction. People might nod along, but they're not truly bought in. Starting with why is like lighting a fire. It's about connecting with the deeper purpose, the reason behind the idea. For example, we believe everyone deserves access to clean water. That's a why that resonates. Then we explain how we achieve that why. We achieve this by building innovative, low-cost filtration systems. Now we're showing how our purpose translates into action. Finally, we arrive at what. We offer a range of portable water filters that are easy to use and maintain. See how that lands differently? It's not just a product, it's a solution to a problem we all care about. This inside-out approach inspires action because it speaks to our values and beliefs. It creates a sense of shared purpose, making people want to be part of the solution. It's the difference between saying buy our product and join our movement. So why does starting with why work so well? It's not just a clever trick. It's rooted in how we, as humans, are wired. When we understand the why behind something, it resonates with us on a much deeper level than just facts and figures. It's the difference between hearing about a product and feeling a connection to a mission. Why taps into emotions. Think about a cause you deeply care about. Maybe it's environmental protection, animal welfare, or social justice. Your connection to that cause isn't just logical, it's emotional. You feel something. When a presentation starts with a powerful why, it taps into those same emotions, creating an immediate connection with the audience. It's like saying, we're on the same team, we care about the same things. It creates a sense of belonging. Humans are social creatures. We crave connection and belonging. When a why is clearly articulated, it creates a sense of shared purpose, a feeling that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. Imagine a team that's not just working on a project but is united by a common goal, a shared belief in why their work matters. That's a powerful motivator. Purpose drives action. When people are emotionally engaged and feel a sense of belonging, they're much more likely to take action. They're not just passively listening, they're actively participating. They're invested in the outcome. This is where the magic happens. A presentation that starts with why doesn't just inform, it inspires. It moves people from, that's interesting, to, I want to be a part of that. Now that we understand the power of why, let's get practical. How do we actually put this into practice? How do we communicate our how in a way that's clear, engaging, and memorable? Here are 4 key strategies that can make all the difference. Craft a compelling narrative. Humans are drawn to stories. We remember them, we connect with them, and we share them. When explaining your how, don't just list facts and figures. Weave them into a narrative that illustrates the journey, the challenges, and the triumphs. For example, instead of saying, our software streamlines processes, say, imagine a team drowning in paperwork. They're working late, making mistakes, and feeling burnt out. Then they discover our software. Suddenly, tasks that used to take hours are done in minutes. They have more time for creative work, and they're excited to come to work again. That's a story people can relate to. Use relatable examples and analogies. Sometimes the best way to explain a complex idea is to compare it to something familiar. Analogies are powerful tools for making the abstract concrete. For instance, if you're explaining a new technology, you might compare it to a familiar tool or process. Think of it like upgrading from a bicycle to an electric car. You still get where you're going, but it's faster, easier, and more efficient. Show, don't just tell. Whenever possible, demonstrate your how in action. If you're talking about a product, show a demo. If you're talking about a process, walk people through it step by step. This is especially important when presenting to a team. Don't just tell them how something works, let them experience it. For example, if you have a new project management system, you could use a real-life scenario and show the team how it solves a common problem. Let them click around and interact with the system. Engage with empathy and authenticity. Remember that you're not just presenting to brains, you're presenting to human beings. Connect with your audience on a human level. Be genuine, be vulnerable, and show that you care. Acknowledge their challenges, understand their needs, and speak to their aspirations. Empathy creates a bridge of trust, making your message much more likely to resonate. When you show that you genuinely understand and care about your team's needs, they'll be much more receptive to your ideas. All right, we've explored the why and the how, now let's get to the what. This is where we talk about the tangible solutions we offer, the tools and strategies that will help your team achieve its goals. But remember, the what is most impactful when it's connected to a clear why and a compelling how. Tailored to your team's needs, we don't believe in one-size-fits-all solutions. Every team is unique, with its own set of challenges and goals. That's why we take the time to understand your specific needs and tailor our solutions accordingly. It's like having a custom-made suit versus buying something off the rack. It just fits better. Easy to implement and integrate. We know that adopting new tools or processes can be daunting. That's why we've designed our solutions to be as user-friendly and intuitive as possible. We want to make the transition smooth and seamless, so your team can start seeing results quickly. Think of it like switching from a complicated old-fashioned coffee machine to a simple modern one that makes your coffee with the press of a button. Measurable impact you can see. We're not just about making promises, we're about delivering results. Our solutions are designed to have a measurable impact on your team's performance. We provide you with the tools and metrics to track your progress and see the tangible benefits. It's like having a fitness tracker for your team's productivity. You can see exactly how far you've come and how much you've improved. Let's revisit a crucial point. Why do so many presentations, even those with great content, fail to make a lasting impact? We've touched on this before, but it's worth emphasizing. The missing link is often the connection between the what, the how, and the why. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that more information equals more impact. We cram our presentations with data, facts, and figures, hoping that sheer volume will win people over. But that's like trying to win a race by carrying the heaviest backpack. It might seem impressive, but it's not going to help you cross the finish line first. In fact, it's going to slow you down. The key isn't just having all the pieces of the puzzle. It's knowing how to put them together in a way that creates a clear and compelling picture. Without that connection, without a strong why to anchor it all, the information just floats around aimlessly, failing to find a home in the minds and hearts of your audience. So how do we make sure our why, how, and what are working together seamlessly? It's about creating a clear and consistent connection between them, like a well-oiled machine where every part contributes to the overall goal. Create a clear line of sight. Imagine your why as the North Star, guiding everything you do. Your how are the specific steps you take to reach that star, and your what are the tools you use along the way. Every element should be clearly linked, so anyone can understand how they fit together. It's like drawing a map. You need to show the starting point, the route, and the destination clearly. Reinforce the connection at every stage. Don't just state your why at the beginning and then forget about it. Weave it into every aspect of your presentation. When you're explaining your how, show how it directly supports your why. When you're presenting your what, highlight how it's a tangible manifestation of your why. It's like building a bridge. You need to keep reinforcing the structure to ensure it's strong and stable. Ensure consistency across all communication. The golden circle shouldn't just apply to your presentations. It should be the foundation of all your team's communication. Whether it's emails, reports, or casual conversations, make sure the why, how, and what are aligned and consistently communicated. This creates a unified message and strengthens your team's sense of purpose. It is like having a company's mission statement. It should be clear what your team stands for. The Golden Circle isn't just a theory, it's a proven framework that has helped countless organizations and teams achieve remarkable results. Let's look at some real-life examples of how starting with why has made a tangible difference. Company A, a small business selling eco-friendly products, was struggling to compete with larger, established brands. They decided to revamp their marketing strategy by focusing on their why, deep commitment to sustainability. They shared their story, their values, and their mission to make a positive impact on the planet. The result? They saw a significant increase in sales as customers connected with their purpose and chose to support a brand that aligned with their own values. This is a generic example, but you can see companies doing this everywhere. Team B, a project team within a large corporation, was facing internal communication challenges and struggling to meet deadlines. They realized they had lost sight of their why, the reason their project mattered in the first place. They held a workshop to redefine their purpose and clarify how each team member's role contributed to the bigger picture. This renewed sense of purpose led to improved collaboration, increased motivation, and ultimately, successful project completion. Again, just a hypothetical scenario, but it is applicable to many teams. Organization C, a non-profit, was having difficulty attracting and retaining volunteers. They decided to focus on communicating their why more effectively, their mission to empower underprivileged communities. They created videos and stories showcasing the impact of their work and the difference volunteers were making in people's lives. This resulted in a surge of new volunteers who were inspired by the organization's purpose and wanted to be part of something meaningful. This is another generic example, but you can see this everywhere. Now that you've seen the power of the Golden Circle in action, it's time to put it to work for your team. Here's a practical action plan to help you implement this framework and start seeing results today. Define your team's why. This is the most important step. Get together with your team and have an open and honest conversation about your purpose. Why does your team exist? What impact do you want to make? What values drive your work? Write it down, refine it, and make sure everyone is on the same page. This might take some time, but it's the most important step. You could even have a dedicated meeting just for this. Develop your how strategies. Once you have a clear why, you can start defining the specific strategies and processes that will help you achieve it. How will you work together to achieve your purpose? What methods will you use? What approaches will you take? Outline these in detail, ensuring they align with your why. Identify your what offerings. Now, look at the specific products, services, or projects your team delivers. How do these offerings support your how and ultimately contribute to your why? Be specific and ensure the connection is clear. If something doesn't fit, consider whether it needs to be adjusted or eliminated. Practice communicating with the Golden Circle framework. This is an ongoing process. Encourage your team to use the Golden Circle in all their communication, both internal and external. Start with why, then explain how, and finally present the what. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I hope you're starting to see the Golden Circle as more than just a communication tool. It's a way of thinking, a way of leading, and a way of inspiring action. It's about moving beyond simply conveying information. We're not just trying to fill people's heads with facts and figures. We're aiming for something deeper. It's about moving beyond mere persuasion. We're not just trying to convince people to agree with us. We're aiming for something more meaningful. We're aiming to inspire, to ignite a spark in others, to connect with their values and beliefs, and to create a shared sense of purpose. That's what the Golden Circle is all about.